Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Film Session Celtics, the team that went out there and looked almost perfect and beat the Bucks. We're going to talk about it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Boston, baby, we do what you can't. Locked on number 18, Tatum and Brown, J-team, step back. We gon' wet that and slay teams. Of course the Celtics, who else could it be? Screaming like KG with the Larry O.B. Karalis above average, assessing the team status. Best daily pod, no cap, salary matching. Clutch like Bird the DJ, keep John on replay. Prime time, dapping up the truth on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. B.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day, Monday through Friday, making it part of your daily routine. Remember, Locked On Celtics is free, and it is available on every single podcasting platform, including YouTube. Watch the show on YouTube. Every episode is available on LockedOnCeltics.com. This episode is brought to you by TrueBill. TrueBill is the new app that saves you money by helping you identify and stop paying for the subscriptions you do not want or need. You can even negotiate better deals for those that you want to keep. I'm John Karalis. I cover this Boston Celtics team for Boston Sports Journal. I've written a book called The Boston Celtics All-Time All-Stars, a book that is very appropriate now that it is the 75th anniversary team. I just got a new shipment, so I can say, buy it. The people who bought it and have been waiting for a book, it's coming out. I'm putting it in the mail on Tuesday, so you're going to get your books. I got a couple dozen extras here. If you want a nice Christmas gift, I can put it in the mail right away. A signed autograph book on JohnKaralis.com. It's late. JohnKaralis.com. Get a signed book for $30. Makes a nice gift, stocking stuffer, whatever. All right, let's get to this basketball game where the Boston Celtics walked into the TD Garden after a long road trip. Now they're playing 15 of their next 20 at home, and they kick it off with a 117-103 win over the Milwaukee Bucks, which I'm going to break down here a little bit. Later on, I'll just get into a little bit more reaction of why I'm so happy that this happened the way it happened, because it's going to shut a lot of people up who have been annoying the hell out of me with this shake it up talk. In the second segment, I'll get into some of the individual performances, a little deeper into what each person did. Let's just get to the big story, the big overarching, what's the big headline from this win? And to me, it's the Film Session Celtics. And we're always looking for that thing to label this team, right? A couple years ago when it was the Kyrie, the middle of that debacle, they go out west. We all talked about, hey, you have that long plane ride. Things don't look great. You're on that plane ride, and they go over there, and it's all the plane ride Celtics. The vibes are fixed, all of that stuff. We know it doesn't always last very long, but this one, it's the Film Session. That's the big headline. Started in the practice on Sunday, where Ime comes out and says, yeah, we just had a really long film session and it was beneficial and blah, blah, blah. And then at shoot-arounds Monday morning, Marcus Smart's available to the media. We say, hey, we heard about this film session. He goes, yeah, it was a long one. It was, pretty intense. Oh, okay. And then after the game, well, we've heard about this film session. It's, this, you said it was long and all that. Well, tell us a little bit more. And then Ime says they showed 100+ clips from the entire road trip, all 5 games. None of them really went 100% great. Even the win over Portland, there's still plenty there. Portland was very complicit in that loss. Even the big performance against Utah, Ime says, quote, we showed them film of Westbrook getting down the lane and flexing and doing his antics there. We showed them LeBron with basically guys moving out of his way. I had a very animated film session of that trip showing all 5 games and so on. Grant Williams says it was animated. He got on guys down the line. He didn't let anybody off the hook. We all respect and love that. We took it to heart and had a lot more fun. So the headline here for these Celtics is the Film Session Celtics are the team that responds to Ime Udoka. This is Ime setting everybody straight and the guys going, yes, we accept this criticism. We take this criticism to heart, and we're going to go out there and we're going to apply it. And they applied it to the Milwaukee Bucks. Right away, you could tell this was not going to be a Khris Middleton kill you game. Khris Middleton did nothing. He left after 24 minutes with a knee sprain, but he still played 24 minutes. So he played plenty. 2 of 8, 0 of 1 from 3, 4 points. 4 points for Khris Middleton against the Celtics? I would look at that and be like, is this a first quarter box score that I'm looking at? Giannis has 20, 7 of 14. Looks like a good box score for Giannis. 7 points at the half and 13 points in the second half. You take that. When you're talking about Giannis and Antetokounmpo, only 20 points, 7 points at halftime. Very frustrated. Started taking some pull-up threes, took 3 3-pointers. That was big. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, 4 turnovers for Giannis. There's a massive, massive victory for the Celtics. Headlining this right away, they wanted the defense to be better. The defense was spectacular. Horford's defense on Giannis was brilliant. Al Horford can do a really good job in individual settings against Giannis. Is he going to stop him all the time? No, he's not stopping Giannis all the time, but they did good. They mixed it up. Jaylen Brown got switched onto him. Jaylen Brown had this awesome steal. What are the plays of the game? Jaylen is getting backed down by Giannis, and he knows what's Giannis going to do. That spin move is coming. He times it perfectly. As soon as he feels Giannis start to spin to his right, boom, pokes it away. Then Giannis now is pissed about the turnover. Jaylen's going down, and you got Giannis. It's chase down block city. This is where Jaylen from a few years ago might have just been like, you know what? Full speed, try to stop me. What does he do in this one? Slows down, kind of initiates the contact right as he knows that Giannis is about to start to go up. So Giannis is going stride for stride and starts to like, okay, I'm going to go. And he commits. And Jaylen leans a little bit because he's got a right to get to the basket. And he leans. Giannis commits. He draws the foul. He puts the shot up. He misses the shot. But it's 2 free throws. So you have now the ability to calm down. You draw a foul on Giannis, which, okay, didn't matter. He only had 2, but you draw the foul. You get 1 step closer to the bonus. Fouls are important. You get to the line. You get to calmly make those 2 points. So it's basically still a fast break point. It's just you getting it at the free throw line. So smart play from Jaylen. The way the Celtics handled Giannis in this game was beautiful. The way they handled Middleton, credit to Marcus Smart there. Awesome. And then offensively, they were very aggressive. Jayson Tatum, super aggressive. I mean, everything in his bag getting to the rim. Euro steps, spin moves, crossovers, just hesitation moves. That film session was like the vibe creator. That film session was just positive vibes everywhere. Everything's fixed. Not really fixed, but fixed for a game. And then this is the real key here, right? Everything looked so good, like so good, minus a first quarter lineup, which was Grant was on the floor, Romeo, then Cantor, Schroeder, and Marcus Smart. Like, obviously that was a disaster. And Ime, I don't know why he had that lineup out there. Giannis didn't play at all after that. I'm sorry. Cantor, NSK Freedom didn't play after that. But that was the only kind of glitch that end of the first quarter. Grant Williams hit 3 3-pointers in the second quarter, and that kind of set things up. The Celtics, instead of folding, instead of what we saw on the road trip where, okay, you had an end of quarter lull, what we saw was second quarter, chip away, start to get some contributions from role players, and then take a lead at the end of the second quarter. Rather than have things kind of flip and go completely south, the Celtics took a lead. And then in the third and fourth quarter, they pushed that lead. So all around, just top to bottom, really, really good, minus that one little period, that one little lull. Perfect. I mean, you're not going to get much better out of an NBA game, especially against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are second in the league or second in the East, and obviously a very, very good team. Offensively, defensively, fantastic job. Let's get into some of the individuals, a little bit more into the individuals when I come back. First, let me tell you about TrueBill. TrueBill is the app that's going to save you from those greedy corporations scamming you out of your money with these free trials that kind of are hard to remember and they renew without you knowing. TrueBill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for those subscriptions, the ones you don't want, need, or forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with TrueBill. Companies just make it hard to cancel. TrueBill simplifies it all. You link your accounts, TrueBill cancels them with one tap, or you get the TrueBill Concierge, which is there to cancel these unwanted subscriptions so you do not have to. I was convinced of TrueBill's necessity when I had a big subscription. I got a free trial for an expensive thing and forgot about it and had to go through all of this trouble to renew, to cancel that instead of it just renewing. TrueBill has saved over 2 million users, about $100 million bucks. Not bad. So don't fall for the subscription scams. Start canceling today at TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. Go right now. TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. That's TrueBill.com/LockedOnNBA. Today's show also brought to you by Stance. If you don't know Stance socks and other active apparel, you're missing out. These socks, if you're looking for a great gift for the Celtics fan in your life, something unique, this is a nice idea because Stance socks are, first of all, catchy. Someone's with a little bit of personality, a little bit of swag. You get them some of these Stance socks. You get the Celtics. You've also got various like Wu-Tang Clan and the Goonies and Star Wars, Harry Potter, things that can, cover the gamut of people who you might be shopping for. Plus, obviously, NBA, MLB, Pixar. There are plenty of these things. So Stance was founded in 2009. It's a radical reinvention of socks and underwear, active apparel, sharp focus on comfort, quality, creativity. It brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of pop culture's hottest collaborators for the ultimate in style and self-expression, because everything you wear should be a direct extension of who you are and how you feel. Trust me, socks can make an outfit. You don't realize it until you put it on and you say, these socks don't work. And these socks from Stance can tie everything together. But it's not just socks, it's shirts, it's joggers, it's hoodies. So check it out. Go to stance.com and use the promo code Locked On. You're going to get 15% off your first order. Cruise around, check it out. You're going to find something that's awesome. You're going to probably want to get something for yourself. Stance.com, 15% off your first order with the promo code Locked On. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Why not make Locked On NBA your second listen? Locked On NBA is a show I host on Wednesdays with Jake Madison of the Locked On Pelicans podcast. It's there Monday through Friday, a rotating set of hosts. New little gimmicks in each show to look at the league, covering all the games of the night. So check them out, Locked On NBA, wherever you get your podcast, and on YouTube. Let's get into some of these individuals. Jayson Tatum, 42 points and 16 in the fourth quarter to slam the door on this game. Jayson Tatum closing this out, 16 of 25, 7 of 13 from three, weirdly 3 of 5 from the line, which is bizarre. 4 assists, but don't get fooled by that 4 assist number. He had a lot of passes. The Celtics had 31 assists on 43 baskets. Anytime you get over 30 assists, that's a big night. 4 for Tatum, 4 for Horford, 5 for Jaylen, 11 for Marcus Smart. But there were plenty of these shots that didn't fall. Even though the Celtics shot 50% and almost 42.5% from three, perfectly great numbers, exactly great number. Like, I'll take that every single day. Celtics would be a very good team. But they were even better. They had good looks that didn't fall. They could have shot even better. Whenever these, tomorrow or later today, when you listen to it, when we look at the potential assists, I guarantee you, Tatum, the 4 assists, he probably had another 5 or 6 potential assists. Easy, maybe more. Same thing with Jaylen, but Tatum had a fantastic game. And when I say the attacking was right on point. I mean, you look at his shot chart. I mean, yeah, 13 3-point attempts seems like, well, he took more threes than he did twos. That was in the fourth quarter when he had it rolling. This is exactly what you want from Tatum. Attack, attack, attack. Get yourself comfortable. Then in the fourth quarter, when they are really focused on stopping you and putting up a wall, you get those sidestep threes. That's when the 3-pointers really start to fall. So that was a fantastic Tatum game overall, and defensively too. This is his best game of the season, easily his best game of the season. Jaylen Brown, give him some credit for this. He came back. Now he did knock knees with Bobby Portis, I believe it was. I thought it might have been something to do with the patellar tendonitis that he had been dealing with, but it seemed like it was just a knee knock type of thing. So hopefully he's fine, and it doesn't take away from him in his return. Now that happened early in the game, and he finished the game off, so it didn't hurt him as far as playing time. He played almost exactly 30 minutes, 29:58. Shot well, 6 of 13, 3 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 19 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. The one that I told you about, a block, a few turnovers, but not a big deal there. Think that the one impact that I saw a lot was just how much space he created for Jayson Tatum. Just the gravity of having another all-star out there that you have to account for. That was huge. And he was big right away. I mean, he hit his first 3-pointer. In the first quarter, he took a floater that Robert Williams jumped for and thought it was going to be an alley-oop. Turns out it was a floater. He kind of had to pull back. Should have been the pass. Should have been the alley-oop. And then I think Jaylen understood that, and he went back and he found Robert Williams the next time, drew a foul. I forget who it was on, but the initial like 4 or 5 possessions were all very Jaylen centric, and he did a very good job on all of those. So you can see how the impact of him being on the floor, and then the ball movement, obviously, like I mentioned with the assists, the ball movement really created some space for everybody. So that really you're pulling like the threads out of the Milwaukee defense just by moving the ball, drive and kick just constantly. It was a lot of fun to watch. Also, I got to shout out Al Horford, 10 points, and the Celtics win by 14, and he's a plus 25. How does that happen? Well, it's the defense that he plays on Giannis. I call it a masterclass on Boston Sports Journal. He was physical, but kept his hands back, really was right there, moved well with Giannis, did just a fantastic job. And then the Celtics threw different looks at Giannis all the time. So it wasn't just Al. Like, I don't want to say Al shut down Giannis. He didn't shut down Giannis. He was very good. He was extraordinarily good on Giannis. But the Celtics did a fantastic job on just throwing different looks at him. Marcus Smart, he denied Middleton so well. So well. The 11 assists, no turnovers. This is Marcus Smart, the point guard. 11 assists, no turnovers. Okay. Yes, somebody's going to nitpick his shooting. Absolutely. I know somebody's going to nitpick his shooting. He took a couple of shots there that were not great, right? Took a couple of shots that you're like, little too early, little too far, still above the break. So not really in this game seeing that change in the shot profile necessarily, but he was obviously great at organizing, did a fantastic job distributing the ball with the 11 assists. No turnovers is huge, but the defensive stuff with Middleton, which was just, the pure Marcus Smart defensively, and was great. Grant Williams, you know what? Let's talk about Grant after the break. I'll talk about Grant and then the shakeup stuff that I'm just happy that could hopefully go away. That's next. First, I'm going to tell you about Boost Mobile. You listen to podcasts for the power of the inside track. You switch to Boost Mobile for the power of saving money, because with Boost, you get the power of a free 5G phone. So you can listen to the latest episodes of Locked On Celtics and keep up with the Celtics, your favorite players, and other teams. The power of 3 unlimited data lines for $30 a month per line, so your family can share all the insights. And with the power of one of America's largest 5G networks, you can do it all at the speed of 5G. With all that money you'll save and all that edge you'll gain, just how powerful will you become? Switch to Boost Mobile and find out. You get a free Samsung Galaxy A32 5G when you switch to one of America's largest 5G networks. More power to save. Boost Mobile. Free phone is limited to new customers and 1 per line. Additional restrictions apply. Offers and coverages are not available everywhere or for all phones or networks. See boostmobile.com for details. Today's show also brought to you by Crack Sauce, CRAIC Crack Sauce. It is a fabulous, wonderful hot sauce made here in Massachusetts by a Celtics season ticket holder, local employees, local farms. This is the chance to get a very cool gift for the hot sauce lover in your life. Support a Celtics season ticket holder who supports the local community by hiring and sourcing local people, local ingredients, from growing their own peppers to fermentation, slow cooking. Crack Sauce prides themselves on taking the harder yet more fulfilling and flavorful route to creating artisanal craft hot sauces that will enhance your everyday eating experiences. Let me tell you, this is not just that bottle of hot sauce that it tests how hot you can take your food. It's not meant to torture you. It's meant to add some heat and flavor to your food. I like them all. The golden pumpkin is something I like to put in my eggs. I like avocado toast in the morning. I make it all the time. And you throw some of this golden pumpkin in with the eggs, gives a nice taste, especially around this time of year, with a little bit of heat. And it's not just going to be like, oh, I'm crying and sweating. So check them out at cracksauce.com, CRAIC sauce.com. Get some for yourself, get some for your friends, get some for your family. They're great, great gifts. And you'll get 10% off Crack Sauce products with the code Locked On. Locked On is the code. Get 10% off at cracksauce.com, CRAIC. Local artisanal hot sauces. They're great. I love them. Check them out. Picking up on the continued individual performances. I thought the only player who had like a bad night. Well, Ennis had a bad night. He only played like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. And then it was like very evident that, oh, this can't continue. So he didn't play anymore. Romeo did a good job. We saw Sam Hauser get his first NBA points. He hit a 3-pointer. But Grant Williams, I think, was just huge in this game. He hit his first 3-pointer in the second quarter and cut a lead down to, I think it was 14. And then by the time he hit his third 3-pointer in the second quarter, he was 3 of 3. The third one was the one that gave the Celtics a 51-50 lead at the half. And I like the bookend of Grant's 3-pointers because that shows you how the Celtics kind of progressed down that path of, we're going to take this lead that we gave up. We're going to slowly just do what we do, just play that defense. Grant played some really good defense, got in there. He got mixed it up with Bobby Portis. He tried to take a charge on Giannis, which was a weird play because Giannis came barreling down the middle of the lane, and Grant sat there and he took the hit. Now, it was a no call, which was interesting to me because that play, like, both guys crumbled to the ground. That's got to be something. That had to be something, whether it was a charge or a block, whatever. But he was in there giving up his body, and still 5 of 7 from 3 overall. He only took 3-pointers. Grant Williams took 7 3-pointers and hit 5. He's out there just shooting the lights out. I thought Grant, I mean, and Mike Budenholzer said it after the game. Grant's threes, the the Celtics forced turnovers in the second quarter, and Grant Williams was hitting threes in the second quarter. That was what turned this game around early on. Jayson Tatum was joking. Like, I asked Tatum, I started to phrase a question like, hey, Grant's shooting the lights out right now. Something. I forget what I asked exactly. And Tatum, I could see Tatum start to laugh. I was like, okay, where's this? In my head, as I'm wrapping up my question, I'm like, where is this going? Because I can see the look on his face already. And he pauses for like a couple of seconds. He says, Grant shooting the lights out. Don't let him hear that. So he gave his answer, and I said, well, Grant seems to like to talk a lot. Does he kind of bring up that he's shooting well? And Tatum's like square in my eyes. He's like, every day. It was really funny. So Grant's a talker. Grant will talk. He's more confident. He told me his confidence is sky high in everything. At this point, everything it's carrying over on the court, off the court, in life. His confidence is just through the roof. And yeah, he's going to have a couple of bad games. Like the Clippers game was a really bad game. I think it was a bad game for just about everybody. And there are going to be some matchups where he's not really playable. That's because he's not, he still has limitations. So you're not going to have him, posting or guarding Joel Embiid in the, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be some games where it's like, not sure where you fit in here, which is fine. But in this game, he was great all the way around. The shooting has been a revelation. He's in the top 5 in the NBA in 3-point shooting, which I think, just folding this into my next point, my final point of the podcast, where I'm so sick of people saying, you got to shake things up. Just you got to do something. Got to do something. Like, well, hold on. Grant's an example, and Romeo to a degree as well, where you got to have the proper context. What is happening? And if you're watching, and I guess this is why you listen to podcasts, because you're listening to this podcast, you're looking for that proper context. Not everybody's doing that. And it doesn't have to, I'm not saying that about my podcast necessarily. It could be any podcast. There are a lot of us out there trying to, give you a little something extra to kind of, this is what's going on. This is our context of the game and of the team. Without that context, you just look at numbers and you say, well, Grant Williams over 2 years has been just move him. Just get rid of him. Just dump him. No context. You don't see that why he came in. He came in, was a small ball 5. And then the short turnaround, he to be a small ball 5, he's got to be heavier. And to be this, to play out in the wing like this, he had to be lighter, but he didn't have time to get lighter. And so he struggled last year. He was slower and he just didn't work, but they needed him to kind of pivot because they signed Tristan Thompson. All of those little things are part of the context as to why. Now it's still on him to perform and all of that stuff. And he certainly made mistakes and probably didn't handle certain things the right way. That is true, but context matters. Situation matters. So the people who are out there looking at this road trip and saying, oh my God, you got to do something. Oh, trade Jaylen Brown. Out there are suggestions for Jaylen Brown to Memphis for what? For Dylan Brooks and role players? People are suggesting, like, people are floating this stuff out there. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? Like, just because you're sick of things doesn't mean that this is how it's supposed to go. You got to be patient and you've got to get proper context of what's happening. The proper context of this season is Jayson Tatum is being challenged. Jaylen Brown is being challenged. Jaylen Brown has been hurt. You've got a new coach. You got a new system, and you've got young players and trying to either figure out how Schroeder fits and how Richardson fits and how the young players fit. And there are a lot of things that maybe could be done differently and are being done for certain reasons. Some reasons we don't understand, but it's not all coming together right now. Do the Celtics want it to be better? Of course, everybody wants things to be better, but the Celtics are still trying to figure things out. So Tatum and Brown, people are saying they didn't work well together. They worked pretty damn well in this game. They worked pretty damn well together in some of these other games. And this is their first opportunity to really be the 1-2. You know what I mean? Like Kemba's gone. They started last season with Kemba, and Kemba was trying to figure out where in that 1-2-3 that he fit. And that made things difficult. Now here we are. It's a new kind of thing. They need to figure this out. The Celtics need to figure this out. And all of this talk about got to shake things up, to me, is so damn annoying. Annoying. Because it strips all context out of this season. This is not that you're not shaking things up in December in the first year. You know, people calling for Ime Udoka to be fired, 2 months into a quarter of the way into the season, a third of the way into the season. Like, God, please, like, just give it a second. People holding coaches and players to standards that they would never hold themselves to in that same situation or in any similar situation. No one starting a new job and struggling with the new job would want to be fired 2 months or 3 months into the new job. You want to go through your training and get used to certain things and figure things out. Give me a chance. Let me learn. Let me figure this out. Grant Williams is showing that if you have the proper context and you give somebody just a chance, things can work out here. Works for him. And he's, as long as he keeps, he's shooting 5 of 7, shooting 71.5% from three is not sustainable. Breaking news, not sustainable. But the shooting prowess that, he's earning a spot here. He's earning himself, not just playing time. I will argue that he should probably start whenever someone else misses time. If Tatum or Brown or whomever, or Smart goes down. Well, Smart's a little different story because he's the point guard and Schroeder would start in that situation. But if let's say that the injury to Jaylen Brown, but that knee knock thing cost them the game on Friday against Golden State, I would start Grant instead of Schroeder. Keep Schroeder on the bench. I would rather have that extra shooting out there on the perimeter that somebody has to pay attention to. That opens things up for Smart to throw the lobs to Rob. That opens things up for Tatum and Brad. I mean, or Tatum, I would say, opens up driving lanes. Just he's become that guy. I think now on the scouting report, it's don't help off of Grant Williams. If you help off of Grant Williams, he's hey, secret's out now. You're going to have to run him off the line and see if he can make a decision. If I'm the opposing coach and I'm looking at the Celtics, I see Grant Williams. I'm like, you know what? Don't help off of him. You got to run him off the line. Have him put the ball on the floor and see if you can poke it away. See if you can have him, get too confident and maybe throw a turnover, or maybe he's going to miss a floater or something like that. Force him to do something else. Because if he's just standing there with nobody in his face and he's throwing up, uncontested 3-pointers, now the scouting report is Grant Williams will kill you on open 3-pointers. I'm glad that hopefully the shake it up. We need to shake this up because it's not working talk. I hope that goes away. The Celtics have a lot of decisions to make. I'm not saying that this is the team. I'm not saying that they don't need to make trades. They do. I'm not saying this is the finished product, but making a move for the sake of making a move, just because you're like, they need to do something. That's not the way to go. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works in the NBA. You don't just do it to do it. So, all right. Celtics have a few days off, 3 days off, and then another home game. This is going to feel like a luxurious vacation. Guys get to get off their feet a little bit on Tuesday. Nice film session, a second film session. A lot less on the film session to worry about in this one. We'll see how long this film session stuff lasts. I mean, it's a fun 1-game story. If they go out there and shit themselves against the Golden State Warriors, then out goes the film session Celtics. That storyline went away real quick. But I think, look, I'll wrap it up with this. The Celtics, you know how it goes. I think I said it on the podcast with Tom Westerholm. as soon as you feel like you get a beat on these guys, they do the opposite. So they had a very complete best game, overall game played of the season here, win against Milwaukee. They face Golden State next. Maybe there'll be a letdown. Steph's going to go and break the record and whatever, and maybe there'll be a letdown, and maybe the Celtics will still be feeling good, and they'll beat the Warriors, or they'll beat the Warriors and the Knicks or something. And then the Cavaliers game will come along and they'll get wrecked. And it's like, oh, as soon as you start buying in, they're going to get wrecked. The whole thing with these Celtics right now is the film session Celtics. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep talking about these film sessions and stay humble. You did a great job here. Don't be buying into your hype anymore. Stay humble, stay aggressive, attack the way you attacked, play defense the way you played this defense. That team is a good team. Still has its flaws for sure, but that team is good. The team that we saw against Milwaukee, it's a good team. Okay. The team that we saw against the Clippers, this is a bad team. That was a bad team. And we'll see probably versions of both the rest of the way. Hopefully the Celtics can learn a very hard lesson here. One of these days they'll learn it. You play the way you did on the road trip, you're going to lose badly. You'll play the way you did against Milwaukee. You got a chance to beat just about anybody in the league. The talent is there. The effort and the execution for 48 minutes has to be there too. All right. I'm going to stop talking. Back on Tuesday. Actually, this is the Tuesday podcast. I'm back on Wednesday for the next Locked On Celtics podcast. All week long, Monday through Friday, daily podcast, fresh for you every single weekday. So subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're new, welcome aboard. Hi, how you doing? Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you've gotten to this point, I have to assume that you are enjoying the show. So subscribe, watch the show on YouTube, like the show on YouTube. Very happy to meet people who are watching the show on YouTube. Thank you very, very much. Anytime anybody's in the garden or if I'm on the road, you see me, stop by, say hi. I'd love to say hi to you. And hopefully I get a couple minutes to chat. And of course, if you are a regular subscriber, I need you to share the podcast. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to listen to and watch the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network.